The human ship U's Harmony moved slowly through space toward the massive station ahead. Commander Jake Murphy stood on the bridge, watching the strange structure grow larger on the main screen. Zenith Prime was bigger than any human city, built by the mysterious race called the Architects long ago. Now it would host the most important peace talks in galactic history. Jake turned to look at his team. Lieutenant Amy Ross stood at the weapons console, her fingers dancing over controls that looked innocent but hid deadly secrets. Dr. Peter Grant sat at a side station, studying alien biology reports with quiet intensity. Both of them knew this. Mission was far more dangerous than it appeared. Commander, we're getting signals from 3 different alien fleets, Amy reported. Her voice was calm, but Jake caught the tension underneath. The Krex Empire ships are taking positions on our left. The Veil Collective vessels are grouping to our right. The Nexus Syndicate fleet is directly ahead. Jake nodded. Each of these alien races had been fighting each other for decades. Millions had died in their wars. Entire star systems had been destroyed. Now, somehow, humanity had been chosen to help make peace between them. The aliens thought humans were weak and harmless. They saw Earth's people as soft creatures who had avoided the wars through luck alone. They were very wrong. Any word from Captain Stone? Jake asked quietly. Amy checked her private communication channel. She and her team are in position. All Black Ops units are ready. Dr. Grant looked up from his research. Jake, I've been studying the alien delegation lists. Each race is sending their most dangerous military leaders, not their diplomats. This feels like a trap. It probably is, Jake replied. But not the kind they think. The truth was that humanity had been preparing for this moment for years. Every peaceful trade mission had been a scouting operation. Every diplomatic meeting had been a chance to study alien weaknesses. Every human colony that seemed helpless was actually a hidden military base. The aliens saw what humans wanted them to see. Incoming transmission from Zenith Prime. The communications officer announced. The main screen flickered, showing a massive alien with gray skin and sharp teeth. General Vorthik of the Krex Empire looked at the human bridge with obvious disgust. Behind him, Jake could see other alien figures, the floating, jellyfish-like beings of the Veil Collective and the mechanical forms of the Nexus Syndicate. Human vessel, Vorthik growled. You will dock at Bay 7. Your delegation will be escorted to quarters. Do not bring weapons. Do not attempt to record our meetings. You are here only because the galaxy needs neutral mediators. The screen went dark before Jake could respond. Amy shook her head. Neutral mediators. If only they knew. Jake smiled, but there was no warmth in it. They think we're neutral because we haven't picked a side in their wars. They don't understand that we've been picking our own side all along. The Harmony docked smoothly at Zenith Prime. Jake, Amy, and Peter prepared to leave the ship, carrying only basic diplomatic equipment. Hidden throughout the station, Captain Lisa Stone and her special operations team were already moving into position. They had arrived days earlier, disguised as maintenance workers and trade representatives. As they walked through the station's corridors, Jake marveled at the alien architecture. The architects had built something truly amazing before they disappeared. The walls seemed to pulse with their own energy. Strange symbols covered every surface. Dr. Grant was studying everything, his scanner hidden in what looked like a simple datapad. The energy readings here are incredible, Peter whispered. If we could understand how this place works. We will, Jake replied quietly. That's part of the plan. They entered a large chamber where the other delegations were already waiting. The Krex warriors stood in a tight group, their weapons clearly visible despite the no-weapons rule. They were tall, reptilian creatures with thick armor and scars from many battles. Their leader, General Vorthik, watched the humans with hungry eyes. The Veil Collective members floated in the air, their translucent bodies glowing with psychic energy. They communicated through thoughts rather than words, and Jake could feel them trying to probe his mind. The neural implants hidden in his brain blocked their attempts easily. The Nexus Syndicate representatives were the strangest of all. Part machine, part organic, they had replaced most of their original bodies with advanced technology. Their leader, designated Unit Prime 7, scanned the humans with mechanical eyes that clicked and whirred. "So," Vorthik said, his voice echoing. "In the chamber, these are the famous humans. You look even weaker than we expected." Unit Prime 7's voice was cold and electronic. "Their technology appears primitive. Their physical capabilities are below galactic average. Why were they chosen for this task?" One of the Veil Collective members spoke directly into their minds. "Perhaps because they are too weak to threaten any of us." A safe choice. Jake stepped forward, his expression calm and diplomatic. "We're honored to help bring peace to the galaxy. Humanity has always believed that different species can work together." The aliens looked at each other with what might have been amusement. To them, Jake's words sounded like the pleading of a weak species, hoping to avoid being crushed. Amy watched the aliens carefully, noting their positions and weapons. Her hand rested casually near her belt, where devices that looked like simple tools could become deadly weapons in seconds. Peter continued his scans, gathering data on alien biology and technology. "Very well," Vorthik announced. "Let us begin these talks. But understand, humans, we are here to divide the galaxy among the strong. Your people will accept whatever terms we decide." Jake nodded politely. "Of course, we just want peace." As the formal talks began, none of the aliens noticed the small signals Amy was sending. Throughout the station, Captain Stone's team received their orders. In space, hidden human ships began moving into position. On distant worlds, peaceful human colonies activated defense systems that had been hidden for years. The Silent Beast Protocol was almost ready. Jake sat down at the negotiation table, still smiling his diplomatic smile. The aliens thought they were about to divide up human space among themselves. They had no idea they were walking into the most carefully planned trap in galactic history. Soon, they would learn what humanity really was. The peace talks began in the Grand Assembly Hall of Zenith Prime. Jake Murphy sat at a small table between the three alien delegations, trying to look calm while the most dangerous beings in the galaxy argued around him. The chamber was huge, with curved walls that reached up into darkness. Ancient symbols glowed softly along the walls, left behind by the mysterious architects. General Vorthik slammed his clawed fist on the table. "The Krex Empire demands mining rights to all human colonies in Sector 7 through 12. Your people can remain as workers under our protection." Unit Prime 7's mechanical voice responded immediately. "Negative. The Nexus Syndicate requires integration of human neural systems with our collective network. Biological consciousness must be upgraded for galactic efficiency." The Veil Collective representative, who called herself Mind Singer of Stars, floated above her chair. Her thoughts pressed against everyone's minds like cold fingers. "Human minds show interesting patterns. We require access to study your emotional resonance. Some of your people will need to join our psychic experiments." Jake kept his expression neutral, but inside he felt sick. Each alien faction was talking about humans like they were objects to be divided up. They weren't negotiating with humanity. They were deciding how to split up human space and people among themselves. "I understand your positions," Jake said, carefully. "But surely we can find a solution that respects human sovereignty as well." Vorthik laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the chamber. "Sovereignty? You speak of rights you have not earned through strength. In this galaxy, the strong decide the fate of the weak. Amy Ross stood near the wall, supposedly taking notes on her datapad. But her real attention was on the strange energy readings she was detecting throughout the station. Something was very wrong here. The power signatures didn't match anything in human databases. It was as if the station itself was alive and watching. THEM Dr. Peter Grant sat quietly at a side table, his scanner hidden inside what looked like a simple medical kit. He was studying the aliens carefully, noting their weaknesses and gathering biological data. What he had discovered in the past few hours made his blood run cold. During a break in the talks, Peter approached Jake with his findings. "Commander, I need to show you something," he whispered. "The medical scans I've been running on our guests reveal some disturbing information." They stepped into a small side chamber. Peter activated a holographic display that showed biological analysis. Charts. "Jake, these aliens have been experimenting on humans for years. I found traces of human DNA in their systems. They've been capturing our people and using them for research." Jake's jaw tightened. "What kind of research?" "The Krex have been testing human pain tolerance and combat effectiveness. The Veil Collective has been probing human minds to understand our emotional responses. The Nexus Syndicate has been studying our biological adaptability." Peter's voice was grim. "They don't see us as equals, Jake. They see us as interesting laboratory animals." Meanwhile, Amy had discovered something equally disturbing. The energy. Readings she was tracking led her to a hidden section of the station. Using tools that looked like simple engineering equipment, she had accessed restricted areas of Zenith, Prime's computer systems. What she found there made her contact Jake immediately. "Commander, you need to see this." Amy's voice came through. His hidden communicator. "I've accessed the station's records. This whole peace summit is a setup. The 3 alien factions have already agreed to divide human space among themselves. These talks are just for show." Jake felt a cold anger building inside him. "Are you certain?" "Positive. There are detailed plans for human colony takeovers, population relocation schedules, and research facility locations. They've been planning this for months." The final straw came during the afternoon session. General Vorthik had been growing more aggressive as the talks continued. When Jake suggested that humans might want some say in their own future, the Krex general stood up with a snarl. "Enough of this pretense," Vorthik growled. "Let me show you what happens to species that do not accept their place." He gestured to his guards, who brought in a human prisoner. The man was badly injured, his clothes torn and bloody. Jake recognized him as Captain Bill Hayes, who had been commanding a human exploration ship that went missing 6 months ago. "This human was captured exploring our territory," Vorthik announced. "He has served as a useful test subject for our new interrogation methods. Now he will serve as a demonstration." Jake started to stand, but Vorthik's guards aimed their weapons at him. The other alien delegations watched with interest, as if they were about to see an entertaining show. "Please," Captain Hayes whispered, looking at Jake with desperate eyes. "Don't let them." Vorthik's clawed hand swept across the man's throat. Captain Hayes collapsed to the floor, his blood pooling on the ancient stone. The Krex general looked at Jake with satisfaction. "That is the fate of humans who do not know their place," Vorthik said. "Your species exists only as long as we find you useful." The chamber fell completely silent. Jake stared at the body of his fellow human, his expression never changing. But something cold and deadly entered his eyes. Amy saw it from across the room and felt a chill run down her spine. Unit Prime 7's mechanical voice broke the silence. "An efficient demonstration. Human emotional responses to loss appear to cause system shutdown. Mind Singer of Stars projected her thoughts with cruel amusement. The fear patterns are fascinating. Perhaps we should study this one's reaction more closely." Jake stood slowly, his movements calm and controlled. He looked at each alien delegation in turn, his face showing nothing but diplomatic concern. But Amy could see the change in him. Dr. Peter saw it too. Something had shifted in the room, something dangerous. "I see," Jake said quietly. "So this is how galactic civilization works. The strong take what they want from the weak." "Finally." "You understand," Vorthik said with satisfaction. "Your people will submit or share this one's fate." Jake nodded thoughtfully. Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out what looked like a simple communication device. The aliens paid no attention as he activated it and spoke a single word: "Beast." Amy felt her hidden communicator vibrate with an incoming message. Throughout Zenith Prime, Captain Lisa Stone and her team received the same signal. In space around the station, cloaked human ships got the transmission. On distant worlds, peaceful human colonies activated hidden defense systems. The silent beast protocol was now active. Jake looked back at the alien delegates with the same calm expression. "You're absolutely right," he said. "The strong do decide. The fate of the weak. We humans have always understood that." Vorthik frowned, confused by something in Jake's tone. "What do you mean?" Jake smiled for the first time since the talks began. It was not a pleasant smile. "I mean that you've made a very serious mistake, General. You've assumed that we're the weak ones in this room." The aliens looked at each other uncertainly. Something had changed in the human commander, but they couldn't identify what. Amy checked her readings and saw that energy signatures throughout the station were spiking. Hidden human technology was coming online all around them. Dr. Peter was quietly packing his medical equipment, but his movements had changed. Too. They were faster, more precise, more military. Mind Singer of Stars tried to probe Jake's mind again, but this time she encountered something that made her recoil in shock. The human's thoughts were shielded by technology she didn't recognize. And behind those shields was something that felt very much like a predator studying its prey. "What is happening?" Unit Prime 7 demanded, his sensors detecting energy changes throughout the station. Jake looked down at Captain Hayes' body, then back at the aliens. "What's happening is that you just declared war on humanity. And now you're going to learn why that was the last mistake you'll ever make." The silent beast was about to show its teeth. The change happened in seconds. Jake Murphy's diplomatic mask fell away like shedskin, revealing something cold and predatory underneath. The aliens in the chamber sensed the shift immediately, their instincts screaming warnings they didn't understand. "Computer, activate full station scan," Jake said calmly. "That device is not connected to our systems," Unit Prime 7 stated, his mechanical sensors analyzing Jake's communicator. "You cannot access station functions." Jake's smile grew wider. "Actually, we've been connected to your systems for 3 days, Captain Stone report." The main chamber doors opened with a soft hiss. Captain Lisa Stone entered with her team, moving with deadly precision. They wore what looked like simple maintenance uniforms, but their movements were those of trained killers. Behind them came more humans, people who had been on the station for days, disguised as trade representatives, engineers, and diplomatic staff. "All key positions secured, Commander," Lisa reported. "Station control is ours. All alien communications have been jammed. Their fleets cannot receive distress signals." General Vorthik roared and reached for his weapon, but found his holster empty. "What is the meaning of this? Where are weapons?" Dr. Peter Grant looked up from his datapad with a satisfied expression. "We removed them while you slept. Humans are very good at moving quietly. We've been studying your sleep patterns for months." The Veil Collective members tried to use their psychic powers, but found their mental attacks blocked by strange interference. Mind Singer of Stars pressed her thoughts against the humans desperately, but encountered only solid barriers. Your telepathy cannot penetrate our neural implants, Amy explained, tapping her temple. We've been wearing them for years. Every human in space has them. We've known about your psychic abilities since we first met your species. Unit Prime 7's sensors were going wild, detecting energy signatures throughout the station that hadn't been there before. Impossible. Our scans showed no human technology beyond basic levels. Jake walked to the center of the chamber, stepping over Captain Hayes' body. You saw what we wanted you to see. Every human ship you scanned carried hidden technology. Every colony you thought was defenseless has weapons you can't detect. Every diplomatic meeting was a chance for us to study you while you ignored us. Outside the station, space itself seemed to ripple and shift. Dozens of human ships decloaked. Around Zenith Prime, their hulls gleaming with advanced armor and weapons that defied known physics. The alien fleets suddenly found themselves surrounded by a force they hadn't known existed. Admiral, Ben Carter's voice came through the station's communication system. This is Admiral Carter of the Terran Defense Force. All alien vessels are ordered to stand down immediately. Any hostile action will be met with overwhelming force. The three alien factions stared at their screens in shock. Where moments before they had seen only a few small human ships, now they faced a massive fleet of advanced warships. This is impossible, Vorthik snarled. We monitored all human ship movements. Our intelligence networks covered all human space. Your intelligence networks reported exactly what we wanted them to report, Jake replied. We've been feeding you false information for years. Every human trader, every diplomatic envoy, every peaceful colonist was part of our intelligence operation. Doctor, Peter activated a holographic display that filled the center of the chamber. It showed a map of the galaxy with human colonies marked in blue. But as they watched, the display updated. Peaceful trade stations revealed themselves as military bases. Simple mining colonies showed massive defense platforms. Exploration ships transformed into combat vessels. You thought we were weak because we avoided your wars, Peter explained. You didn't realize we were studying them. Every battle you fought, we analyzed. Every weapon you used, we copied and improved. Every tactic you developed, we planned counters for. The aliens were beginning to understand the scope of their mistake. Humanity hadn't been lucky in avoiding galactic conflicts. They had been. Preparing for them, Amy moved to a control panel and began activating systems throughout the station. For the past 5 years, human maintenance crews have been installing our technology in stations across the galaxy. We now control the life support, power, and communication systems of every major installation in known space. Mind Singer of Stars finally managed to project a thought that reached the humans despite their mental shields. Why? Why this deception? Why not simply join the galactic community openly? Jake's expression grew sad and angry at the same time. Because we studied what happened to every peaceful species that joined your community. The Centauri collective extinct. The Harmony. Worlds enslaved. The Crystal Singers experimented on until their entire race died out. We saw the pattern. He gestured to Captain Hayes' body. This man died because you see humans as test subjects, not people. You've been capturing our people for years, using them in experiments, treating them like laboratory animals. Did you think we wouldn't notice? Did you think we wouldn't care? Unit Prime 7's mechanical mind processed this information rapidly. You have been planning this scenario for the entire duration of human space exploration. Longer than that, Jake confirmed. The Silent Beast Protocol began the day we first detected alien radio signals. We knew this moment would come. They when you would try to enslave or destroy us like you did to every other peaceful species. Captain Stone's team had been quietly moving through the chamber, placing small devices on the walls. Now she activated them, and the ancient architect symbols began glowing brighter. The station's mysterious energy readings spiked dramatically. "What are you doing to the station?" Vorthik demanded. Dr. Peter smiled grimly. "We've been studying architect technology for decades. Every archaeological expedition to ancient sites was actually a research mission. We've learned to interface with their systems." The walls around them began to shift and change. Hidden passages opened, revealing rooms full of advanced technology that none of the aliens had known existed. Architect machines hummed to life, responding to human commands. "The architects left behind more than just empty stations," Jake explained. "They left behind weapons, defenses, technologies beyond anything the current galaxy has achieved. And they left behind something else, a test." Amy's fingers danced over a control interface that had materialized from the wall. The architects wanted to see if any race would be worthy of inheriting their legacy. They built safeguards into their technology. Only a species that could prove its intelligence, its patience, and its ability to protect the weak would be given access. The chamber filled with new light as architect systems activated throughout. Zenith Prime. The aliens watched in growing horror as they realized the true scope of human preparation. "You have passed their tests," Jake said quietly. "Humanity has been tested by the architect's machines for years." Every human expedition to ancient sites was actually an examination. And we passed. General Vorthik backed away from the humans, his warrior's instincts finally recognizing the predator in the room. "What are you?" Jake looked at each alien delegation in turn. His diplomatic mask was completely gone now, replaced by something ancient and deadly. "We're what happens when a species learns from history instead of repeating it. We're what happens when prey animals decide to become hunters. We're what you get when you mistake patience for weakness and kindness for stupidity." He stepped closer to Vorthik, and the massive Krex warrior actually took another step back. "You called us the silent beast. You were more right than you knew. We've been silent because we were listening. We've been still because we were learning. We've been patient because we were preparing." Amy activated the final system, and throughout the galaxy, human colonies revealed their true nature. Defense platforms rose from hidden underground bunkers. Trade ships shed their disguises and revealed themselves as warships. The peaceful, harmless human presence in the galaxy transformed into something else entirely. "The beast is awake now," Jake said softly, "and it's very, very hungry." The first shot came from General Vorthik's hidden backup weapon. The Krex warrior pulled a small plasma pistol from his boot and fired directly at Jake Murphy's chest. The blast should have killed the human commander instantly. Instead, it splashed harmlessly against an energy shield that flickered to life around Jake's body. His uniform shimmered and changed, revealing advanced armor underneath that had been disguised as simple diplomatic clothing. "Energy shields?" Unit Prime 7's voice carried a note of disbelief. "Our sensors detected no such technology." "Amy?" Ross grinned as her own disguise fell away. Her datapad unfolded into a weapon that hummed with barely contained power. "That's because our technology doesn't register on your sensors. We've been working with architect principles for years." All hell broke loose. The three alien factions, faced with the sudden revelation of human deception and power, made a desperate decision. Despite years of war between them, they temporarily united against what they now saw as the greatest threat in the galaxy. Vorthik bellowed orders to his warriors, who charged the humans with their backup weapons. Mindsinger of Stars and her Veil Collective allies combined their psychic powers into a devastating mental assault. Unit Prime 7 activated hidden systems in his cybernetic body, transforming into a walking weapons platform. Captain Lisa Stone's team moved like deadly dancers. Their simple maintenance tools revealed themselves as weapons that seemed to bend the laws of physics. One soldier carried what looked like a hammer, but when he swung it, Gravity itself seemed to follow its path. A Krex warrior weighing 300 pounds was slammed into the ceiling with impossible force. Another human activated a device that created a shimmering wall of energy. Plasma bolts and projectile weapons struck it and simply vanished, their energy absorbed and redirected. The aliens found their most powerful weapons useless against human defenses they had never seen before. Dr. Peter Grant was no longer the quiet scientist he had pretended to be. His medical equipment transformed into something that looked like a cross between a rifle and a computer. When he fired it at a group of Veil Collective members, they screamed and fell to the ground, their psychic abilities disrupted by targeted electromagnetic pulses. Impossible, Mind Singer of Stars projected desperately. We are beings of pure mental energy. Physical weapons cannot harm us. They can when they're designed specifically to disrupt psychic fields, Peter replied calmly. We've been studying captured Veil Collective technology for years. Did you think those exploration ships you destroyed left no survivors? We've been learning from every encounter. The battle spread throughout Zenith Prime as more aliens joined the fight. But everywhere they turned, they found humans already in position. Maintenance workers shed their disguises and revealed themselves as soldiers. Trade representatives activated hidden weapons. Even the cleaning staff turned out to be special operations teams. Amy coordinated the battle from the main chamber, her hands flying over controls that interfaced directly with the station's architect systems. Lisa, I'm sealing sections 12 through 15. Drive them toward the main corridor. Copy that? Lisa's voice came back over the communication system. Team 3, use the gravity generators. Team 7, activate the neural disruptors. The aliens quickly discovered that the humans weren't just fighting them. They were using the station itself as a weapon. Gravity fields shifted to slam alien warriors into walls. Atmospheric controls made sections of the station too thin to breathe. Power systems were rerouted to create electrical barriers that blocked alien movement. Meanwhile, in space around Zenith Prime, Admiral Ben Carter commanded the human fleet from his flagship, the UES Leviathan. The ship was massive, but it moved with impossible grace as it engaged the 3 alien fleets simultaneously. All ships implement Formation Delta 7, Carter ordered. Remember, we're not here to destroy them completely. We need some of them alive to spread the word. The human ships demonstrated capabilities that defied everything the aliens thought they knew about physics. Vessels that should have been torn apart by their own acceleration performed maneuvers that seemed impossible. Weapons that looked like simple energy cannons punched through alien shields like they were made of paper. The Krex battlecruiser Deathbringer, pride of their fleet, launched its most powerful attack against the Leviathan. Quantum torpedoes that could destroy small moons struck the human ship directly. The explosions lit up space like tiny stars. When the light faded, the Leviathan was undamaged. Its hull didn't even show scorch marks. What kind of armor are you using? The Krex fleet commander demanded over the communication channel. Carter's voice was calm and professional. It's not armor. It's something the architects left behind for a species worthy of inheriting their legacy. Congratulations, you just helped us prove we're that species. The Veil Collective tried their most devastating psychic attack, combining the mental power of 50 of their strongest members into a single assault aimed at the human fleet. It should have driven every human mind into insanity. Instead, it bounced harmlessly off neural shields that had been built into every human ship. The psychic energy was absorbed and redirected, creating feedback that stunned the Veil Collective attackers. Neural implants are standard for all human military personnel, Carter explained. We've been wearing them since we first encountered your species. Did you really think we'd leave our minds undefended? The Nexus Syndicate deployed their adaptive AI systems. computer minds that could learn and counter any enemy tactic within. Minutes. They began analyzing human weapons and developing countermeasures at superhuman speed. Then their computers started crashing. One by one, the Nexus ships went dark as their AI systems overloaded and failed. What did you do to our computers? Unit Prime 7 demanded from the station. Jake smiled as he watched the battle through the station's sensors. We introduced them to human quantum computing. Your AI systems are advanced, but they're still based on binary logic. Our computers work on principles your machines can't understand, let alone counter. Back on the station, the aliens were being systematically overpowered. The humans fought with terrifying efficiency, using weapons and tactics that seemed to anticipate every alien move. It was as if they had studied every possible combat scenario and prepared specific counters, which, of course, they had. This is impossible, Vorthik roared as he found himself cornered by 3 humans with gravity. Weapons. No species develops this level of technology this quickly. You've only been in space for 50 years. Captain Stone appeared behind him, moving silently despite her heavy armor. 50 years of intensive preparation. 50 years of studying. Every alien species, every weapon, every tactic. 50 years of being underestimated while we got ready for this moment. She activated a device that created a localized stasis field. Vorthik found himself frozen in place, unable to move but still aware of everything around him. The difference between humans and every other species in this galaxy, Stone continued, is that we learn from other people's mistakes. We studied the fate of every peaceful race that trusted galactic civilization. We decided not to repeat their errors. Throughout the station, the remaining aliens were being captured or neutralized. The humans had not come to negotiate. They had come to demonstrate. This was a message being sent to every species in the galaxy. Dr. Peter Grant approached the frozen Vorthik with a medical scanner. Don't worry, General. We're not going to kill you. You're going to live long enough to tell the rest of the galaxy what happened here today. Amy finished her work at the control station and turned to address the captured aliens. Your fleets are disabled, but not destroyed. Your crews are alive, but immobilized. We're going to let you go, and you're going to carry a message back to your governments. Jake stepped forward, his diplomatic mask completely gone. In its place was something ancient and predatory, something that had been hiding behind human smiles for 50 years. The message is simple, he said. Humanity is no longer hiding. We're no longer pretending to be weak. We're no longer asking for permission to exist in this galaxy. He looked at each captured alien in turn. You had your chance to coexist peacefully. You chose to see us as prey. Now you understand what happens when prey becomes predator. The silent beast had shown its teeth, and the galaxy would never be the same. 6 hours later, the battle was over. Zenith Prime belonged to humanity, and the 3 alien fleets hung powerless in space, their weapons disabled and their crews captured. In the station's Grand Assembly Hall, Jake Murphy stood before the surviving alien leaders, but this time the tables had turned completely. General Vorthik sat in a restraint field, his massive frame held motionless by human technology. His eyes burned with rage and humiliation, but beneath that was something new, fear. Unit Prime 7's mechanical body had been partially shut down, his weapon systems disabled by human computer viruses. Mind Singer of Stars floated weakly. In her containment field, her psychic abilities dampened by neural disruptors. Let me explain what happens next, Jake said, his voice calm but carrying absolute authority. Your fleets will be escorted back to your home systems. You will be released to tell your governments exactly what you experienced here. And then you will wait. Dr. Peter Grant activated a holographic display that showed the current state of the galaxy. Red zones marked alien territories. But now, They were surrounded by blue markers indicating human positions. What had seemed like scattered human colonies were revealed as a vast network of military installations. Every alien government will receive the same offer, Jake continued. Submit to human oversight and protection, or face the consequences of continued aggression. You've seen what our weapons can do. You've experienced our technology. You know, we can reach any target in the galaxy. Vorthik finally managed to speak through his restraints. You cannot control the entire galaxy with fear. Other species will unite against you. Amy Ross looked up from her command station, where she was monitoring reports from across known space. Actually, that's already happening, but not the way you think. The holographic display updated to show real-time communications from dozens of star systems. Species that had been enslaved or oppressed by the three major powers were celebrating the news of their defeat. Smaller civilizations that had lived in fear were sending messages of gratitude to humanity. It turns out, Amy explained, that most of the galaxy's inhabitants were tired of living under the tyranny of the strong. They're welcoming human protection. Captain Lisa Stone entered the chamber with a status report. Commander, the architect systems are fully online. We now have access to technology that was left behind for a species deemed worthy of inheriting it. Faster-than-light communication, matter replication, energy sources that dwarf anything currently in use. Jake nodded. The architect's test wasn't just about intelligence or military power. It was about character. They wanted to find a species that would protect the weak instead of enslaving them. Humanity passed that test. Unit Prime 7's mechanical voice was subdued. Our analysis indicates that human expansion was never random exploration. Every colony placement, every trade route, every diplomatic contact was part of a larger strategic plan. Correct, Dr. Peter confirmed. We've been building a galactic defense network for 50 years. Every human settlement was positioned to protect smaller species from predatory empires. We weren't expanding for ourselves. We were creating a shield for everyone who couldn't defend themselves. The truth was staggering in its scope. While the three alien powers had been fighting each other for territory and resources, humanity had been quietly positioning itself to protect the galaxy's vulnerable populations. The silent beast hadn't been preparing for conquest. It had been preparing for guardianship. Mind Singer of Stars projected a weak thought. Why? Why sacrifice your own expansion to protect strangers? Jake's expression softened slightly. Because we've seen what happens when the strong prey on the weak. On our own world, we learned that civilizations that protect their vulnerable members grow stronger. Those that abandon them grow weak and eventually destroy themselves. Admiral Ben Carter's voice came over the communication system. Commander, we're receiving surrender requests from 17 alien systems. Another 43 are requesting human protection from local predators. The Galactic Trade Council is asking for an emergency session to discuss new territorial arrangements. Jake walked to the center of the chamber, stepping carefully around the spot where Captain Hayes had died. The man's body had been removed and prepared for burial with full military honors. His sacrifice had not been forgotten. Here's what's going to happen, Jake announced. The Krex Empire, the Veil Collective, and the Nexus Syndicate will withdraw to their core systems. You will release all prisoners and stop all expansion activities. Any system that requests human protection will receive it, Vorthik snarled. And if we refuse? Amy activated another display showing the current positions of human forces throughout the galaxy. There were hundreds of ships, thousands of installations, and millions of personnel that had been hidden for decades. The true scope of human military power was overwhelming. Then you'll join the long list of extinct civilizations that chose conflict over cooperation, Jake replied simply. We really hope you make a better choice. Dr. Peter approached the captured leaders with medical scanners. Before you go, we're going to remove the implants you've been using to track and control other species. We found them when we scanned you earlier. Very unpleasant devices. The aliens looked shocked as Peter's scanners revealed hidden technology in their bodies. Devices designed to manipulate other species, to cause pain, to ensure obedience. The humans removed each one with efficient precision. How did you know? Unit Prime 7 asked. Because we've been studying the species you've enslaved, Peter explained. Every failed colony you thought was destroyed actually escaped to human space. We've been caring for refugees from your empires for years. They told us everything. Captain Stone stepped forward with transport orders. Your ships are being refueled and supplied. You'll have safe passage back to your territories. But understand, this is your one chance to change course. We won't be so generous with future violations. As the alien leaders were escorted to their ships, Jake remained in the assembly hall with Amy and Peter. They stood in silence for a moment, processing what they had accomplished. 50 years of preparation, Amy said quietly. 50 years of pretending to be weak while we got strong. Enough to protect everyone else. Peter looked at his medical scanners, which showed the biological data he had collected on dozens of species. The galaxy is full of civilizations that just want to live in peace. They've been waiting for someone strong enough to stand up to the bullies. Jake walked to the ancient architect controls that now responded to human commands. The architects left behind more than just technology. They left behind a responsibility to use power wisely, to protect instead of conquer, to guard the peace instead of making war. Amy's communication system chimed with incoming messages from across the galaxy. Reports coming in from everywhere, Commander. Species we've never even met are asking for human protection. The word is spreading fast, Jake nodded. Open a channel to all human forces. It's time to make our new policy official. Amy established the connection, and Jake's voice went out to every human ship, station, and colony in the galaxy. This is Commander Murphy to all human forces. The Silent Beast Protocol is complete. Our true mission begins now. We are no longer hiding among the stars. We are the galaxy's protectors, its guardians, its shield against those who would prey on the innocent. He paused, looking out at the stars through the station's main viewport. To every species listening to this transmission, the strong will no longer be allowed to devour the weak. Humanity offers protection to all who seek peace and cooperation. We offer justice to all who have been oppressed. And we offer a choice to all who have been oppressors. Change your ways or face the consequences. Throughout the galaxy, on thousands of worlds, billions of beings heard that message. For the first time in galactic history, the weak had a champion. The silent beast had awakened, not as a conqueror, but as a guardian. Amy looked at Jake with a smile. Think they'll learn? Jake watched as the alien fleets limped away from Zenith Prime, carrying their message back to their governments. Some will, others won't. But either way, the galaxy is about to become a much safer place. The age of galactic tyranny was over. The age of human protection had begun. And in the depths of space, other ancient powers stirred, taking notice of the species that had finally proven itself worthy of the architect's legacy. The silent beast was silent no more.